Alright, quick update on Cardano. So, in the last video we were highlighting a bunch of bearish signals. We were talking about the fact that you were getting battered against the daily EMA ribbons every single time you zoom out. You see you get battered in these daily EMA ribbons. If you do not quickly have a flip above it, you basically capitulate beneath them, make a lower high, and subsequently come down to make a lower low. This is exactly what we look like we are doing right now. We look like we're getting ready to take out the floorboard of this, and we were talking about the breakdown of the head and shoulders, which was soon to be in play, and it is finally starting to come down. Now, I gave you a couple of different price targets from the last video. We were actually all the way back here at 55 cent, telling you that we were going to come down to 36 cent. This was a 33% drop we were predicting. As we are falling beneath the floor, we're currently down about 20% since that prediction, which is very nice. But since the last video, we've really only started to head down. We were calling this when we were coming into the daily EMA ribbons at around about 48 to 49 cent, and as you can see, we are heading down 44.6 cent as of the time of recording this, heading beneath the lows of the head and shoulder. On the daily time frame, you can see we broke beneath it, back tested it, and now we are heading down. This is also interesting because the floorboard of this head and shoulder, or the neckline as you can call it, perfectly lines up with this 786 Fibonacci. So what you can tell from this trend is we've had a bounce, we've come up, we've had a minor uptrend, breakdown, rejection from the 0.5 fib, breakdown, rejection from the 0.6, double rejection from the 618, and now we've broke down below the 786, back tested the 786, confirmed it as resistance. So it should come to no surprise now. What do you think is coming next? We're probably going to come out and take out the lows. If we do look at the market structure, this looks like a bear flag to me. If we highlight this, this is how I'd personally draw it. You've just had a pretty sharp breakdown from all the way up here. It probably looks a lot nicer on the daily time frame. Yeah, this looks beautiful over on the daily time frame. You can see massive pullback down to the downside, a couple of days of sideways capitulation, and if we do extrapolate the price target of this, where is this going to take us down to 35 cent, which is interesting because I do have other price targets down at that region. So we'd actually need to move it to round about here. Bear in mind, we haven't solidified the breakdown right now. So if we do have a bounce up in the next 12 hours or so, we can still do something like this, head up to 45.5, maybe even 46, before inevitably coming back into the 4-hourly EMAs and solidifying that breakdown. So bear in mind, at this moment in time, this price target is not 100%, lines in the stone. It hasn't been written in stone yet. We're still waiting to find out whether this breakdown is solidifying, but the fact that we're bear flagging underneath this massive breakdown of the 786 Fibonacci and the head and shoulders should be pretty indicative that we are about to start heading down very soon. So where are we heading down to in the short term? I already talked about my price target breakdown, basically coming down to these lows. If we do zoom out, you can see this is your 2.618 Fibonacci right here. This is a major fib. We have to zoom out to show you where this comes from, but from this low all the way up to this high, you've got 2.618 down here. I wonder if we've got an even more macro breakdown. You would have your 1.618. This is the biggest Fibonacci that we have on the table right now down here, and it looks like we're heading down to it very soon. So we could solidify the breakdown. You've back tested the 1.618 many times. We line it up perfectly right here at 43.6 cents. So we're currently sitting around about 44.6. If we do head down only another penny or so, and we do capitulate beneath 43.6 cent, then we've got a very long way to go down, and very quickly you will notice these price gaps down back to the lows. That would be another 8% drop. I don't think that's going to hold. I really don't think this low is going to be a significant target, especially as you're breaking below the head and shoulders, breaking below the 786, breaking below all of the key points of market structure. This is really not a major point of control in my opinion, and subsequently, if we do see a bounce here, I don't expect it to last more than a couple of days. I find it much more likely that we're going to head down to this 2.618 Fibonacci and potentially down to this breakdown target of this bear flag, which would mean from where we are right now, by the time I next update ADA, I imagine in the next week or so, we'll probably be heading down about 20%. This is what I expect to happen in the short term, to head down to these lower prices. So once again, 36 cent and 35 cent is going to be in play in the next couple of weeks. Maybe sooner, but let's just take it for what it is. I think in the next couple of weeks we'll definitely be down at these levels. If not, definitely within a month, in my opinion. We've also got some macro Fibonacci's down here, like the 29 cent region. From this head and shoulders breakdown, if we extrapolate the price target, we've talked about this before, this is going to yield us a 23.6 cent ADA. And this lines up beautifully with my macro prediction for us to break down to this green box. This is where I think Cardano is going to have its bear market lows. You have a 1.618 here at 22.5 cent. If we do zoom out, you can see we basically had a triple bottom structure over here, and if we do extrapolate this trend line back further, you can see this was a major area of support, resistance, flip support. So this line, this is going to be a major area to keep your eye on. Am I saying that I think ADA is going down to 12 cent, basically 12.7 cent? I'm not exactly saying that. I think I want to take it one step at a time. I do believe Cardano is going to bottom in this green box. I just haven't decided whether we're going to come down to the 1.618 at 22 cent and bottom, or if we're going to have enough momentum to come down to 12.6 cent, or maybe we'll do something like this, come down, you know, we'll find another micro fib on the way that we can draw from our low to our high, and we might have a price target somewhere around about the middle. But like I said, we'll take it one step at a time. I'm not trying to be unmalleable and say this is exactly where I think the bottom is. I want to be malleable. I want to be able to take in new data. If we do enter a confirmed recession, which we will know if we are in the next month, then things could get a lot shaky. So a lot more shaky. So we've got a lot of things coming in the next month. FOMC meetings, CPI reports, GDP growth reports. If we do get Q2 being negative GDP growth in the US, we're going to be in a confirmed recession. We haven't had this since 2008. A lot of you were not even trading these markets, or, you know, back in these markets back in the 2008 recession. So a lot of people don't understand how bearish we can actually get if we do enter a recession, because previously Bitcoin's had bear markets, Ethereum's had bear markets, ADA's had bear markets, but we've never had a recession because crypto's not been around since the last recession. So once again, let's take it one step at a time. I think within the next couple of weeks, we are going to be down here at 35.6 cent, and as we do get down to these lower price targets like 29 cent and 22 cent, this is where I think we're going to be very likely to find a very nice bottoming pattern for Cardano. Now, with that being said, if we do look at the lower time frames, look at our oscillators as we are wrapping up this video, I want to see, you know, how likely is it that we're going to see a flush out very soon. By the time I next update Cardano, which will probably be in the next week, maybe the next 2 weeks, depending on how quickly we move. I don't cover altcoins every single day. If you're new to the channel, warm welcome. My channel, my YouTube channel, is focused on Bitcoin. I like to provide daily Bitcoin updates, educational updates. Altcoins are just something I do on the side. So this is not a Cardano channel, this is not an Ethereum channel, this is not a Solana channel. This is a Bitcoin channel, and we cover altcoins every now and then. So with that being said, I will update you the next time I see a major move happening for Cardano, but if we just trend sideways for the next couple of days, then definitely don't expect an update. If we only start breaking down to like 43, 42 cent, like I said, this is what I'm predicting now. I will be giving you updates as we do head down to these lower price targets, breaking below the 40s, heading down into the higher end of the 30 cent region. But with that being said, let's look at the oscillators. So all the market structure looks like we're breaking down. Let's look at the MACD to start with. We've literally just crossed bearish on the MACD. We're getting light red volume coming in for the MACD. It looks like we're about to have a major move back down to the downside. The money flow indicator's just made another lower high, and it has topped. I am noticing it's almost like there's a million head and shoulders over on here. This one is definitely ugly, but you can see left shoulder, right shoulder, and then I guess you could say, or this would be the head rather, and this would be another right shoulder. This one's very ugly, and you can draw it a few different ways. You could actually draw it like this, and then this would explain why we're already having a breakdown. You can also see there is a head and shoulders on top of this head and shoulders, and then within that you can also draw this as a head and shoulders. So there's just a lot of bearishness going on the MFI right now. It looks like we're heading down. The squeeze mom running out of momentum. We're trending sideways at this moment in time, but if we do zoom out, you can see the bears are in control for the majority of this trend. We head down to the lower time frames. You can see the MACD is literally getting ready in the next day or so to cross bearish again with another lower high in the higher time frames. The money flow indicator today had a massive run to the upside from 12 to 47, and we did really not see a lot of continuation. So this should be indicative that there is a ton of sellers in the market. People are buying dip, which is why we're having money flow into the market. But at that same respect, it's not enough. And as of the time of recording this, it looks like maybe since I started this video, we've opened a new 4-hourly candle, and it looks like we're pressing to the downside of this bear flag right now. So I imagine by the time I've recorded this, by the time I upload this rather, in the next couple of hours, we may have already had the start of this move to the downside. So really keep your eyes on roundabout 44.5. If we start majorly heading down beneath there, then we are going to be solidifying the breakdown. Squeeze mom on the 4-hourly time frame. Once again, this is just riddled with lower highs for the bears. For the bulls rather. You can also see you are technically seeing lower highs on the bearish market structure, but we've already had such a major move for Cardano, and as you can see, these bearish moves to the downside are definitely more significant than what we're seeing with these bullish moves to the upside. But it also does seem like on the 4-hourly time frame you are getting ready to once again flip bearish. So I would definitely advise caution if you are DCAing ADA right now. If you're longing this, I think you're basically putting a loaded gun in your mouth and playing Russian roulette. I don't think that it is a good idea to long. I don't think it's a good idea to spot buy. If you want to short this, you know, fair enough, use a low leverage until we do solidify that breakdown. Obviously not financial advice. I personally do not trade ADA. I really only trade Solana and Bitcoin because I like to pick like 2 cryptocurrencies that I'm good at trading and stick with those. So I do not leverage trade ADA. I probably will not leverage trade ADA. I'm much more interested in leverage trading cryptos that I spend a lot more time focusing on, which is Bitcoin and Solana. That being said though, it does seem like a home run with this. All of your momentum indicators are very bearish right now. The MFI went up way too fast for my liking, and you can see the last time this had an absolute shoot to the upside was on the 28th of June. What happened on the 28th of June? Let's zoom out. You basically had a big blow off top to the upside. And as you can see, sellers stepped back in. You can look at these massive candle wicks up to the upside, and you solidified that breakdown. So I think once again, money came into this very quickly, and people just sold. They said, no, we're not going up, we're going down. And subsequently, everything looks like it's heading down. Bitcoin's breaking below its previous all-time high. The total crypto market cap's heading below its 200-week moving average, heading back down to its previous all-time high, which it's already wicked off once. So if we do lose this, we're probably going to lose about another 24%, representing a 200 billion drop in the crypto ecosystem. What do you think this is going to equate to for Cardano? In my opinion, this means in the short term, we will be coming down to 35 cent. In the higher time frames, 22 cent is on the table. That's all I've got for Cardano. Once again, ADA, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, I don't personally hold this right now, so it is what it is. I don't benefit whether this goes up or down. I really just cover this because a lot of my community over on my Discord do ask me all the time to cover ADA, even though it's not something I trade or cover myself. But nonetheless, this is what I think is going on with Cardano. I think it's getting ready for a breakdown. We're about to fall out the side of this bear flag, and the bearish momentum is just staring you down the face right now. Once again, the next leg down would be to round about 35.6 cent. This is where I see us in the next couple of weeks, and that is all I've got for Cardano. Hope you found some value in today's video, and as always, Cowboy out. Peace.